Berna. Depending on what you get, it could be a very interesting turn of events. I find bombs aren't actually that bad due to how the fights are scripted, but both our runners starting now. So let's see what we can get. Oh my goodness. Did anyone want a fetch quest?
I know, really. They're not wasting any time, this seed. It could be the seed of fetch quests.
How many times is Pika Pals going to dig before reaching the uncle? That's 2 so far. 3.
Well, he probably doesn't want to do it too much because it does stop you for that moment.
Mm-hmm. Looks like 3 digs. All right, maybe that's the good luck for a good uncle item. That's a good item.
I would call that a good item for sure.
Yeah.
Usually the bow is probably one of the most common trolley items at the end of the run, so this is a great one to start out with.
Yeah, bow being one of the better ones to start out with, due to having 30 arrows right off the start, you're really not worried about any of the kills you have to do. Only thing better than bow, I would feel, would be hammer or the sword, just due to not having any ammunition to worry about.
This is true, but the hammer can be one of the more difficult weapons to get because of its relatively small hitbox, whereas the bow does work really well as a ranged weapon.
Yeah, exactly. And hammer also having a lower hitbox facing upwards too also makes it a little harder.
So right now, both these runners have 20 rupees from that first chest and escape, and heading downstairs to rescue Princess Zelda, finding a heart piece. Both of these runners wanting to get to around 70 rupees before they go into Kakariko Village, and wanting to find at least 1 bomb. Secret room.
Yeah, exactly. Not finding a bomb drop isn't the end of the world, but if you end up being glove locked to enter the fast way, you have to walk around and redo half of escape. The cone of light you get in the sewer section will always be there regardless of you having the lamp or not. So that could be a potential if you don't get a bomb drop here during escape. And heading down already to rescue Princess Zelda. Alright, what other items are you hoping for early here?
I would say, in terms of convenience, an early boots is really nice because it speeds up the run a lot. The hammer that Pika Pals just got, certainly not a bad thing. Now they both have 1/3 of what I call the Dark World trifecta. Just needing a lift upgrade and the Moon Pearl now for some Dark World access.
Exactly. And I'm sure both runners hoping to not have to do Ega at all this seed. Well, Ega 1, that is. But you never know. They could give us a little treat of an Ega 1 fight.
Yeah, in this early stage, it's definitely one of those things that both runners are thinking about. It's a pretty decent time sink. The only good thing is you know that your opponent has to do the exact same thing. So It doesn't put you too far behind, but still, it's a lot better if you don't have to do it at all.
Agreed. And we'll see attempts of farming the green guards here. And there it is. A lucky bomb drop. And both of them get it.
All right, so both of them, they have their bomb for the secret room. Still a little short on rupees, but there are some chests coming up in the lower area. Plenty of time to find a few more rupees.
Yeah, definitely nice to be able to route in the bottle vendor into it, or have to route in buying bombs if you don't find any more throughout the route to get there. But definitely nice to have more rupees off the start. And we'll get to see what our prize pack here at the end of Escape is as well. Currently 4 items in the mix still.
Yeah, and we have not found the map yet, so we know one of those items is going to be kind of useless. And red meringue. Yeah.
There's 5 chests, so 4 items in one map. So one of the next 4 is map. And maybe we'll see it in Sanctuary and they won't have to check it at all. Both of them having the bomb here, not having to return later on, and both getting that rat very nicely done. We'll see how big of a play the back of escape here can come into. Not too big, but decent chunk of money there.
Yeah, that money gives them what they need for the bottle vendor, so certainly a good time to find it, for sure. So they're not having to farm for that later.
Also gets them a little bit closer to the Zora check. Alright, and the final item of escape is sitting inside this chest right here. More bombs.
Well, that's a really nice find, because now they can go through easily both Blind's Hut and the well and use the bombs in there, and certainly a possibility that they're going to find more and maybe not have to buy any at all.
Exactly. With having an ample amount of rupees off the start, as well as those 3 bombs, you can route in Blind, the well, the chicken hut, and then if you need to, buy bombs on the way out of town, because you're most likely going to be exiting south rather than north. So being able to route from the northern half to the southern half, a very, very good way of doing it.
And Pika Pal's about to check the Lumberjack Cave for us real quick, finding just a blue rupee, so far nothing to indicate Agnum as a requirement yet.
Exactly. The only thing that would make Aga required is if something that gives Dark World access is locked behind him. The pearl could be on the pyramid, for example, or the glove could be in pod. And a single arrow inside the forest. And just a 20 down the hole.
So far, besides the bow and the hammer, nothing really new since the beginning of the game, but they are heading into Kakariko Village, where I believe there are 13 items total, if you include the ones south of Kakariko, so lots of stuff to check.
14 if you include the bug boy, which they can't get yet. Or the sick kid, as a lot of people call him. But since not having a bottle, they can't check that yet, so 13 items here for them to get. So, you are correct on that.
So here we go. Pick both players in almost perfect sync in Blind's house here. And we're going to have 5 rupees. The Power Glove. That's 2 out of 3. Some more bombs. And a red rupee. And now we're going to head up top and see what that last chest gives.
Alright. All you people wanting Aga in the chat, the only way it's possible is if that pearl is on the pyramid. And we'll most likely see both of them head straight to the well, having the bombs to do it.
Absolutely, and another 5 items. So odds are good that they might find something else good. They're both also doing very healthy on rupees. Oh, finding a big heart. That's nice. Right now they are pretty low on them.
And we have the Cane of Burna right off the start. Very nice to see. Can be used for good safety strats so later on. And finding quite a few bomb drops here, bombs in chests. So it will be very nice to not have to buy any.
Absolutely. I think my favorite use of the Cane of Burna is actually against Blind. Oh, what a great place to find the flute, right next to where they need to go to activate it.
I think that is the best flute placement I have ever seen.
So we have simultaneous anthems here.
Swag duck away. So not having to do any saving quits now, I would assume, unless you're trying to get somewhere faster than the flute can get you there, which is very unlikely.
And of course, this adds more potential locations. They can head up and find those first couple items in Death Mountain, and just getting places a lot faster, like you said.
Mhm. And I would fully expect both these players to know their dark rooms decently well, so they can rescue the old man without it. And at this point, I'm pretty sure they could just clear Eastern as well, depending on what dungeon it is for us.
And we have our first sword just under 11 minutes in. Fant finding it first in the tavern.
Definitely nice. That also helps in the dark rooms, because if you charge your sword up, you can see the little sparklies. And we'll see here if the race game is potential or not. This time it looks like it is.
Now, is that Cane of Samaria?
Yes. And just a 20 rupee in the library.
Yeah, Fant chose not to check the library, so he's a few seconds ahead at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't believe either of our runners have checked the map yet, so we have no idea what crystals and pendants are where right now.
Yeah, Fant skipping the library check saves a couple seconds if it's nothing big, but with having the boots, and when you go to route in all of the boot locations, a quick library check isn't too hard, especially with having the flute. And both of them going to be heading into the grove to use that shovel.
Yeah, this is a really good play. It would have been an easy one to forget just because they got that shovel so quickly. But with it available so early in the game, this could definitely be something big.
Alright, and what does our normal flute location have? Just a heart container.
And both runners fluting to 7. Going to check out what the inside of the dam and the sunken item are, and probably head over to Mini Moldorn Cave after that. Finding the Moon Pearl. Agnem is done.
Aga dreams, everyone. Not today. We're very sorry. We tried. We gave you false hope. We'll see what the dam has for us, though. Maybe it'll be the other glove, and then we can all be happy? Alright, having early Dark World access is very nice. It's not a glove, but it is some sort of clothing.
And with only 6 hearts and early Dark World access, having an armor upgrade could be really helpful.
Both runners nearly in sync here as well. Very nice to see. And off to Mini Moldorm Cave. Having sword, extra bombs, everything. It's definitely nice to clear this out faster. Unfortunately, Pika-Pal's missing that bomb on them, but still kills them roughly the same speed. Got a fairy in a bottle, the ice rod, quake, a heart piece, and the bug net. Very loaded.
An early ice rod, so I definitely wonder if Turtle Rock is going to end up being required or not.
It is a good possibility that it is, but finding that ice rod early, definitely nice to see. Pika-Pal's routing in the Sick Kid right away, whereas Fant is heading up to Ice Rod Cave.
And the Sick Kid giving him a whole lot of love. This is our first route divergence. It took a while to get there. And it looks like Pika-Pals might be heading up to go into the Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, definitely a good play on that sense. Lots of items to be had there. And I almost feel Fant will do something similar. Still not had a map check yet, which is very interesting. We might get a double map check here from Pika-Pals, though. Oh, there it is. I saw crystals on Desert and Eastern and a red pendant up on Hera.
Okay, so Hera has red pendant, and the Eastern Palace is crystal 1. Desert is crystal number 2.
Mm-hmm. And looks like green pendant on ice. And I didn't catch the other ones. It's just so fast with these Gid runners that they're in that map for seconds. But I'll catch it on the second way through. Crystal 5 and 6 on Swamp and TR. And then I've missed the blue pendant again.
Blue pendant was on Misery Mire.
Okay, awesome. Oh my. Mirror in Hype Cave. And Half Magic. And flippers and silvers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the return of Hype Cave in all of its glory. Wow!
What? I can't even. What is this Hype Cave? That is absolutely insane.
I don't think I've seen one that good since V26.
It has been a while, but that is an absolutely incredible Hype Cave. Having Mirror gives a lot of access now, as well as having Flippers. This is probably the first time I've ever seen the island check whilst being on the island. Just 20 rupees though, but able to route in the Hobo here, as well as probably head up to Zora area at the same time.
Yeah, he's still a little short on rupees for the Zora check, but he certainly could find him in some of the locations leading up to it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a possibility.
Meanwhile, Pika-Pal's opting out of the rest of Skullwoods. I didn't see if he actually found anything of value in there. As Fan picks up 300 more rupees, Zora just opened up to him.
Yeah, definitely nice to see those rupees on the way up there anyways. Changing his mind a little bit. Gonna flute. Where are we fluting to? Just closer to the warp portal. And Pika-Pal's on the way through Village of Outcasts. We'll see if this is any use. Red mail. Very nice.
Absolutely. I mean, Pika-Pal's has 8 hearts, but still a little short. And I wanted to point out, this is one of the differences between, you know, the casual runner and the ones that really know what they're doing, knowing exactly which route, like Fant used the flute to get back to that warp point, which route uses the least amount of time, even though they're very similar.
Yeah, exactly. Just that those small little time saves can make up a lot at the end of it. Our ledge having 20 rupees, so we'll not see that today.
And Fant picked up the lantern as one of the items in the waterfall cave. I didn't see what the other one was.
Yeah, I missed that as well. But lantern, definitely nice for those dark rooms, not have to worry about any of that. And currently, Palace of Darkness is fully completable within the logic.
And just some big love, yeah.
Yeah. So far, nothing inside Thieves Town. Getting the map and compass right out the start, as well as the key for the basement room. Forced into having to dive a little deeper in order to get any items.
But that's fine. This dungeon is fully completable, and they have to do it for the crystal, so...
Yeah. And the way I've seen it so far for this logic is if you can beat a dungeon and clear it, you might as well just do it. If it doesn't lead you to anything further, then so be it, but at least it's out of the way as well. And we're getting an early pod on Fant's side.
Well, like you said, pod at this point is full clearable. That lantern being the final piece of the puzzle, not to mention making those dark rooms a heck of a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
And pod having 5 unique items in it. So definitely some possibilities for finding some of the other things they need.
We're going to get a quick check into Sahashila's closet on the way. We'll see if he's hiding any goodies back there. Just some explosives, his life savings, and a heart.
And Peekabell's finding just 50 bucks in the upstairs chest. You know, this is really good prioritization on Fant's part, because not only will he be able to full clear pod, he can mirror and do Eastern Palace and have 2 crystals in very short order.
Exactly. 2 crystals right off the bat. Doing the pod Eastern combo so early, I've never actually seen that before, but very nice routing to do that. Kiki the monkey being very rude to Fant and not following earlier. But taking the 100 rupees and saying, fine, I'll open the dungeon, but just this once. ₹300 inside of blind cell.
And Fant finding the big key right off the bat and heading over to the right side. And of course, pod being a lot more fun to route with the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. And Peekabell's not finding anything good here in Thieves Town, but will get that dungeon out of the way, so...
Absolutely. The only item left is blind. We will see what he ends up having this time around, and but for sure, getting that crystal, they need 7 of them no matter what, so...
Mm-hmm. Alright. Blind, one of the nice scripted fights if you know what you're doing. So far, so good. Very nice fight. Not even a single hit taken. A very excellent fight on Peekabell's side. But just a bomb upgrade.
Yeah, that was an absolutely beautiful fight. It's definitely one of those interesting fights in that it looks so random and it's really not.
Mm-hmm. If you look at Fant's inventory right now, it is nearing completion. At 22 minutes into the race.
Well, at this point, you know, in terms of what's going to be needed for go mode, it looks like it's the fire rod, the hook shot, possibly the boots, depending on what Desert Palace looks like, and we don't yet know which medallion is required for Turtle Rock.
Exactly. Not a lot of items needed this seed round, or at least the ones... Ooh, nice Master Sword. The ones that we have were given so early on.
Yeah, it's not very often that we're talking about what's left for go mode at only 23 minutes into the run. This has been a very quick seed so far.
Yeah, and Peekapell's only finding a green rupee in the digging game. Whereas Fant finding the Fisher Price shield.
And choosing not to go south and see what was in the... I don't know what that room is called.
I am not sure, but most likely just taking the gamble here. This is 3 items comparative to just 1, so... And there could always be a key hidden behind that door. Alright, Peekapell's gonna be on par here with Fant right away. Gonna do that hype cave that has brought back the hype.
Yeah, he's going to be really happy after going through that one. Or really unhappy if you look at it one way, just because it opens up so much trying to decide what to do next.
Yeah. Yeah. In that room that he skipped, there is just a key.
So absolutely no reason to spend a key to get a key. He can go directly to Helmosaur King.
Yeah, exactly. And there's our new item in this version, which is 10 bombs.
And that, I believe, replaces one of the 3 bomb packs in the game, right?
I'm not actually sure, but all I know about it is that 10 bombs is the item that you are given by your uncle.
So as Fant continues in Palace of Darkness, Pika Pal's doing a pyramid check. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to check out the catfish. And just 20 bucks on the pyramid this time.
At this point, I feel with the items given, a catfish check as well as Zora check in one route is what he would do.
And it looks like that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Maybe one crystal up at the moment, but Eastern being a very quick dungeon to head through, and Fant already nearly done with Pod, so...
And he's countered his items really well. He knows that the final chest is a small key, and he knows that Helmosaur King is going to have the map.
Yeah, it should be very nice here to get these dungeons out of the way. Having a little bit of troubles here inside the turtle room. Only having the hammer, really, for decent damage against them can make it a little bit tricky, because if you don't hit them properly with the hitbox, you'll end up flipping them back over. And just a heart piece from Catfish.
And Fant enters the Helmosaur King fight. 17 hits required with the hammer to knock off the mask, and my guess is he's probably going to use those silver arrows and take him out with one shot, which is a very, very satisfying way to take him down.
Exactly. So that other item in the waterfall cave ended up being just a 5-arrow upgrade. And there we have it. Helmosaur King is down. And Fant going to be heading off into Eastern right away. And I fully expect Pika Pals to be heading off and doing the pod Eastern combo as well right away. It just seems like the play to make at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of items over there. 2 crystal dungeons that you can full clear. There's really absolutely no reason not to.
Exactly. Pulling out the flute. Doing exactly that. Heading off to pod. And we'll see what our 3 items here in Eastern will hold for us. So far, a heart piece. Yeah, someone asking in chat, why not flute from Zora? In specific areas in the game, you're not able to flute. Like the hobo under the bridge, you can't flute from there. And as well as Zora. You can't flute from within the Zora area. So it'd be a long walk out.
And I believe you also cannot flute from the room where the Master Sword pedestal is.
Yes, correct. Correct. They're just loaded separately. It's pretty much like if you were inside a dungeon, the flute is not going to work in there. Fant making quick work of Eastern, heading off to where the big chest is.
And finding just the compass. So I believe he's going to have to go through the dark room in order to get the big key and open that big chest.
Yeah, exactly. I'm fairly certain there's only one more item here within Eastern as well. I didn't catch what the second item he got was, but it's nothing notable.
And of course, with both of these runners having the silver arrows, Ganon is definitely a lot less nasty. However, we definitely need to still find one more sword upgrade. In just a moment, both of these runners are going to have the Master Sword, but we still want that upgrade to the red sword before having to take on Ganon.
I'm pretty sure both of them are comfortable with Master Sword on Ganon, although a Tempered Sword or even a Golden Sword would be favorable. Alright, not opening the big chest. Okay, gonna go back and double check it.
I was going to say it, either a gamble or
Just an arrow
it turns
upgrade.
out to be nothing anyways, so yeah.
Yeah, but to not open that and get the map from the Armos Knights would be quite detrimental in having to come back to get that arrow upgrade. Fant almost done with Eastern now, gonna have a second crystal. And then I would almost expect Fant to do what Pika-Pals has already done and do the Skull Woods / Thieves Town, Town of Outcasts area.
Yeah, lots of items there, although nothing too important. However, another play could be to head up to Light World Death Mountain with the hammer and the mirror.
Yep.
They could check out Tower of Hera and do all the chests on the eastern side of Light Death Mountain.
Exactly. Lots of items to be had up there, so... And there's our burrito from the Armos Knights. And the second crystal for Fant's side.
Yeah, so far these runners both basically neck and neck. They're just kind of going different directions, but neither of them have really made any mistake, and they're doing things that they're going to have to do. So I have a feeling if this level of play continues, at some point we're going to be seeing a convergence.
Yeah, and Fant gonna do the Death Mountain play, save the old man, and then head up the mountain to see what the abundance of items could be.
Right, because yeah, we have the old man. There's 2 items inside of Tower of Hera. There's the Spectacle Rock and the Spectacle Rock Cave, Spiral Cave, and 7 items on the eastern side. So
Yeah.
lots of stuff to find. And of course, if he happens to find the Titan's mitts up there, that opens up a couple more locations to check.
The Fisher Price shield was traded in for a nice fire shield on Fant's side. Doesn't quite go with his outfit, though. Pika-Pal's finding a big 300 there, inside of Pod.
Yeah, both of these runners definitely have more than enough to finish the rest of this game. I believe the only money required spot that they haven't checked is the digging game, which only costs 80 rupees. And I did not see what item was inside Spectacle Rock Cave, but Fant is not going for it.
Yeah, obviously not too important. Pika-Pals did do the digging game already, and it ended up being just a single green rupee. So, 80 for one ended up not being too good a deal.
And Fant deciding to check out Tower of Hera.
Yeah, 2 items to be had here, even though it is a pendant dungeon. Very fast to clear out, and there's one of the items, so the second you find the second one, it's pretty much just dip and go clear the rest of Death Mountain.
Yeah, finding the cape, though, that could definitely be important. We have not seen a check of Bumper Cave just yet.
Yeah.
But Fant saying, nope, no interest in doing that dungeon and wading through that tile room.
Yeah, exactly. If they have to come back for it, then they will, kind of thing. But gotta make the gamble and say no now. the floating island only having a heart piece. Pika-Pal's being full health for that segment is really nice, making it so that you don't have to do an inventory swap there. And Spiral Crave always seems like a chore to do for one item whilst walking.
Pika-Pal's having a very nice time in that turtle room, being really smooth with that.
Mm-hmm. And Spiral Cave only having a bomb upgrade for us. Right, quite a few items still left here, though. We'll see if the prize pack in Paradox Cave is good or not. Very nice fight so far from Pika-Pals. And just using the hammer strats on the eye. Nope, gonna rethink that. Quick shot to the head, done. And a heart container on Fant's side, inside of Paradox Cave. And another crystal for Pika-Pals.
Yes, both players now having 2 crystals. Fant checking out the 5 chest room in Paradox Cave, finding another heart container, Titan's Mitts! And that is a very nice place to find it. Now he's going to be able to check out Dark World, Death Mountain, and we're probably going to get to take a look at what medallion is required for Turtle Rock.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Unfortunately not having boots or hookshot, so only going to get 2 items out of Dark Death Mountain, but having that information on TR is very nice to have. And Pika-Pal's going to be very disappointed with the items here in Eastern, but another crystal on the belt, so... Fant actually going to do Dark Death Mountain from above and activate the TR portal here.
Yeah, right now we're definitely seeing a good combination of a very friendly seed and very good runners. I personally had runs where I didn't get my first crystal until the 45-minute mark, and Pika-Pals is easily going to have his 3rd crystal in that time. Meanwhile, Fant discovering that the Quake is required for Turtle Rock, so he's going to go ahead and possibly head in, or at least unlock it.
Yeah, there is 1 chest available without the fire rod. If it happens to be a key, you can progress further.
And that first chest that is available without the fire rod, I've seen quite a few times where it has a key item. Personally, I think I've seen the bow in there at least 5 or 6 times, although these runners already have the bow.
It looks like it's the big key this time around. Instant dip out of there.
And it looks like he might be going over to check out Spike Cave.
Yeah. Gonna do Super Bunny Cave on the way. Maybe a Spike Cave. We'll see if that comes into play or not. But how often do you get to say that a runner is in TR at 38 minutes?
I don't know that I've ever seen it. That's pretty amazing. And if he had had the fire rod, that would have been full clearable already.
Exactly. And Pika-Pal's having to do that loop around in Eastern. And there is our hot Cheeto on Fant's side.
He also found the fire rod in the first of those 2 chests in Super Bunny Cave, so now Turtle Rock is full clearable for him.
Alright, what is Fant thinking here?
So at this point, depending on what is on the lantern in Desert Palace, we may only need the hookshot to be in go mode, and we're only not even 40 minutes into the seed.
Yeah, exactly. Instantly back into TR, knowing it's fully completable now. Very nice find on that fire rod, too. Also, knowing that they don't have the hook shot, remembering to go the long way around here.
Yeah, this has been a very interesting item placement seed. We have the fire rod right next to Turtle Rock. The flute was on the bottle vendor.
Everything just happened to be exactly where you wanted it to be. And with half
Pika-Pal's,
magic, very nice here.
yeah, Pika-Pal's getting his third crystal at just 40.5 minutes into the run.
Fant finding the hook shot in the roller room there.
So we can call this possible go mode
Possible go mode.
at under 41 minutes.
If boots are not required for Ganon's Tower or Desert, we are in go mode at 40 minutes. That is absolutely incredible.
And right now, Fant's going to be completing one of the longer dungeons. So some of what he has left is going to be the shortest, especially in go mode. You know, go moding Swamp is super fast. Desert doesn't take very long, so he's in pretty darn good shape.
Yeah, exactly. Pika-Pal's heading up the mountain here. Gonna be doing the exact same thing, I would assume. Pretty much just dive into TR as soon as possible. And there are a lot of items left too, so I expect them to continue checking just in case they find the boots.
Yeah, because even if those boots aren't required, the worst that can possibly happen is you can go a lot faster.
Yeah, exactly. Pika-Pal's doing the Spectacle Rock check here. But unfortunately, just 20 rupees inside. Very nice way of taking out the pokey there. Using Fire Rod makes it so you don't have to deal with the body parts flying around the room.
And finding just the burrito in the vanilla big key location. Yeah, those pokies, especially if you end up only having the head left, have a decent number of HP.
Yeah, exactly. Pika getting the cape here, and we'll see if they make the same decision on skipping the basement. I would assume so. It's a big time sink to have to do it. Looks like we're getting a best basement check.
So this does have the potential of being incredibly critical if this has the boots or an item that leads to the boots, because it might be quite some time before Fant comes back here.
Yeah, exactly. Pika will have to climb the tower in order to find that out. And if it happens to be a useless item on Trolldorm, then that's a huge time save on Fant's side. And Mimic Cave not having much on Fant. I mean, I don't blame Pika-Pals for doing this check, but with a lot of other item checks available, you'd almost want to have to route this in again afterwards to finish it up.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those gambles that could pay off or could end up costing him, you know, between 2 and 3 minutes.
Exactly. And Fant already in the back end of TR. Sub 45 minutes, nearing the end. That's very, very insane to say.
Absolutely. Down to 1 heart, but he does have a fairy in a bottle as a safety.
Yeah, exactly. And would most likely open up the safety door. Oh, getting hit there. Yeah, would most likely open up the safety door at the end just in case. But could feel confident in there their fight, so you never know.
Peekabell's checking out the big chest and finding just the burritos, so I believe Trolldorm is going to have the final item for us today. Will it be the Pegasus boots, or will it be nothing? We're about to find out.
Yeah, could be very interesting. Alright, we'll see what Trolldorm has for us today. And Fant gonna head off to the Laser Eye Bridge. Having that cape in hand makes this a breeze, as well as half magic.
Yeah, half magic definitely helps. Trolldorm is exploding, and Survey says a 5-arrow upgrade, so unfortunately not finding anything of use.
The only thing it gets you closer to is a pedestal check, in which very unlikely to have happen during this seed. It's a little too jet seedy for that. It'd almost be like putting the emergency brake on when you're going really fast, and coming to a complete halt when you have to think, I have to do pedestal dungeons now?
But it definitely is within the logic. It is possible to still have that pedestal hype.
Yeah, exactly. Boots could be required, you never know.
And Peekapal is now checking out the eastern side of Death Mountain, gonna pick up his Titan's mitts.
And Fant gonna make quick work here on Trinex, so another crystal down, and with it being one of the longer dungeons. Very nice to see. One head remains.
And the difficult part is over. And just one more hit, I believe.
Yep.
And Trinex is down.
Very nice fight there on Fant's side. Unfortunately, getting the ice head to attack, but very nice still.
And just a 10-arrow refill for his trouble, though. So if you were in his position right now, is this the time to check out Desert Palace, or would you go somewhere else?
I would probably do the Mire item checks as well as Desert now to find out if you need those boots or not. Because doing a Go Mode Swamp or Thieves Town, I mean, Thieves Town, not that big a difference in the time save. Skull Woods as well, not that big. But just being able to Go Mode dungeons rather than having to search for those boots, you'd want that information now rather than later. But you never know. Ganon's Tower could also have the big key on the torch, which would be very unfortunate if you're go-moding things.
And Fant upgrading to the Riot Shield. So we have found all of the shield upgrades and all of the mail upgrades.
The only thing we're missing now is that sword, which could be anywhere.
And Fant going to check out the Mire area. That's a really good idea. Quite a few items in this area.
Yeah,
And
Mire Shed as well as Agina is still on the table. You gotta be hoping for those boots sometime soon. That way you don't have to worry about it being blocked or not. Just 10 arrows on the desert ledge. Alright, heading into desert here. Will boots be required or will they not?
Meanwhile, Peekapal is heading into Super Bunny Cave. He's about to get his fire rod, and I'm guessing we'll see him dip into Turtle Rock. And just 20 rupees.
I personally feel that the big key being on the torch would have eased their minds a little bit. because that means that the boots have to be required. You have to get them at some point. Whereas now, you want to go mode dungeons, but that big key can still be on the torch inside Ganon's tower.
This is very true. Not to mention it speeds up the game quite a bit when you can dash while you're go moding those dungeons.
Exactly.
At this point, we can, as far as getting into Ganon's tower, we can say that Fant is in go mode now.
Yes, exactly. Confirmed go mode at 50 minutes, but was in go mode 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, the only question mark remaining is those boots and whether they're required for Ganon's tower. Fant has, we know that the torch has 20 rupees. I don't believe we found the other Desert Palace item, which means it's going to be on Land Molus.
Yeah. And Pika also having to... Pika doing the fast way technically with hookshot, but then remembering they're doing it completely wrong now. So they're gonna have to loop back around here and do it the other way.
Well, fortunately, he still has plenty of magic with that half magic, so he doesn't have to worry about it in a fairly small time loss.
Yeah, exactly. And with the hookshot being on the... very trolly in a sense that the hookshot would have made that room faster. And very nice fight on Fant's side for the Land Molas.
And Pika Pal's picking up his hookshot.
And another crystal in Fant's name.
So I'm guessing he's probably going to stay in the desert area a little bit longer. There's still Checkerboard Cave and Aegina's Cave to check out.
Unfortunately, not able to check the 2 items within Mire either. But Fant gonna say no to that, just head to the dungeons now.
Did Fant actually check the Mire Shed?
I don't recall. I think he is in just the mentality state of, I need to get going now. Knowing you're going against Pika Pals, I do not blame him on that.
Absolutely, especially seeing, basically being in go mode since, the 40-minute mark. He has every reason to believe that Pika Pals could be in the exact same situation.
Yeah. The only thing that would stop anything is just those boots being required for Ganon's tower. Very low chance of that happening, because that is a 1 in 22 chance, so decent odds. And we're going to get a very fast Skullwoods here on Fant's side, as well as Swamp, whenever he gets to it, is going to be very quick. If you blink, you will probably miss it.
Yeah, Swamp, Skullwoods, and Ice Palace. If you can do those 3 dungeons within go mode, it definitely saves a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly. Pika Pals is also in the exact same position that Fant is in at this point, having everything required currently to beat the game, and doesn't really have anything on Fant, and Fant doesn't really have anything on Pika Pals at this point in time. They have the same amount of dungeons really completed. Unfortunately, Pika Pal is taking that extra time in Hera.
Yeah, even with that, I haven't kept track of every single item location, but they've really followed each other's footsteps, and at this point, they're both in the go mode and just completing the dungeons that they haven't completed yet.
Yeah, very nice Mothula fight there on Fant's side, and due to knowing they're in go mode, making these dungeons very fast. 2 dungeons away from entering Ganon's tower, and we're only at 55 minutes in.
Yeah, this is incredible.
using the mirror on Fant's side to make getting to the village of outcasts a little bit faster.
Yeah, having to backtrack through Skullwoods is absolutely not fun. So, very, very smart use of the mirror to improve his routing.
Yeah. Thieves' Town is also a very fast dungeon, and with Swamp Go mode in play, we'll be seeing a very early Ganon's Tower here.
Yeah, Thieves' Town, they know they don't have to go downstairs, and they know they're going to find the big key in one of those first 4 chests, and I believe it's the last chest that's typically checked. But once that is found, just having to bomb that floor and go get the girl.
Mm-hmm. Fant doing an extra little check on the way, so getting that red mail. Ooh, Pika using, falling to the laser eye bridge there.
Yeah, deciding to do laser skip despite having both of the items that can be used to get past those much more easily.
I mean, if you know it, it's definitely nice on your resources. And not going to open up the safety door, so very confident in their potential in defeating Trinex.
Yeah, both of these runners just having a single bottle. I believe Pika-Pal still has his fairy. Fant used his in Turtle Rock. And neither of them have filled up their bottle with anything else yet.
Right, Fant heading off into the back end of Thieves' Town now, whereas Pika-Pal is going to be doing a very nice Trinex fight for us. Ooh, still getting the ice on the floor. Very close, though. But overall, very nice fight thus far. On to the last phase. Ooh. Getting stuck in the corner there a little bit, but overall, a nice fight. Getting Trinex out of the way, another crystal down. And we'll most likely do the Hookshot Cave or desert checks as well. Just to know if those boots are required or not.
Yeah, definitely. It is that unlikely scenario, but if we do find those boots on that torch, or rather the big key on the torch in Ganon's Tower, those boots could be practically anywhere. They can be on the pedestal. They can be elsewhere in Ganon's Tower. It would definitely be something that would turn this from a jet seed into a potential non-jet seed real quick.
Yeah, I would assume if it happens to be a key on the torch, then I would assume you would check the rest of the basement for Ganon's Tower before going elsewhere. Just due to not needing the boots at all beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. These runners both know there's only a 1 in 22 chance that those boots are going to be required. So once they have their 7th crystal, absolutely no reason to do anything except go directly to Ganon's Tower.
Exactly. Worry about the boots when you need to worry about the boots, but until then, pretty much just going. Fant checking the chests along the way just to be sure that there's a chance of getting them, kind of thing. And Pika-Pal is going to be heading into desert, finding out that they don't need boots yet. And we'll see a nice fight on Fant's side. Pika-Pal is going to be very happy to see that red rupee there. And overall, very nice dodging there, as well as having Riot Shield for the blind fight. Makes it very nice. Pigpal's just looking for that big key here. And then they will head out and do the Landmolus fight. And one dungeon lies between Fant and Ganon's Tower. And with Swamp being a very quick dungeon to do, I expect Fant to be wasting no time here, heading right to Swamp. With only one required chest to open in Swamp to get that first small key, this will be lightning speed. If any of you blink, you are most likely going to miss the Argus fight. And Pigpal's almost at the Landmolus fight now.
And Fant about to take his trip into Swamp Palace. Swamp Palace probably being the biggest difference between go mode and non-go mode of any of the dungeons. If you're still looking for items, and especially if you have to check that far left side, it is a long dungeon.
Yeah, checking left side. No one likes to do that at all.
And Pigpal is using the silver arrow strats and taking care of those Landmolas really fast. Well done.
Yeah, getting it in a 2-cycle. Unfortunately, not being able to do it on the first, but overall, still a nice fight. Another crystal down. And now, only one crystal separates our runners. Fant having a nice lead generated, though. And Pigpal's heading up into Skullwoods, gonna get that dungeon knocked out right away. There's a few key points during this run that has given Fant such a nice lead. Fant hasn't done any of the southern Dark World route really yet, whereas Pigpal has already done that, as well as the Hera play on Fant's side, just not completing the dungeon, and having it turn out that it's not anything needed. It really makes a big difference on where the two runners are at.
Yeah, and to be absolutely clear, both of these runners doing absolutely fantastic. They're on par to easily go well under the hour-and-a-half mark, depending on Ganon's Tower. These runners have just played a hell of a game, and this has been one amazingly fast seed.
Yeah, exactly. One boss between Fant and Ganon's Tower, and Pigpal's only having 2.
And Fant choosing to check a couple of these chests just to make sure, finding the burrito and a piece of heart.
Yeah, it's still most likely the I hope boots are not required, so doing the extra little checks on the way. It doesn't take too long to check those as well, so it also makes it so that if you have to come back later to check it, you won't have to check as much.
And Pigpal is taking apart Mothula very, very quickly. That was a super clean fight. And he is now just one very short crystal away.
Yeah, exactly. And with Fant being at the end of Swamp, Pigpal's will be starting it right away here. That is just one dungeon that separates these two runners, so it could all come down to Ganon's Tower. Very nice Argus fight thus far. On to the second phase. Very nice. 2 spin slashes and down.
Absolutely, and 300 bucks, collecting a little bit of bounty as it's time for him to leave Swamp Palace and head up to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, exactly.
Which means, for those of you who have been around for a little while, you might know there's a little game we like to play, and it's called Where is the Ganon's Tower Big Key? There are 22 chests where the big key could be, and go ahead and start putting in your guesses from 1 to 22 in which item location is Fant going to find that big key.
Yeah, what is your guess tonight there, Sko?
I always like seeing Bob's chest. I really have no idea why, but that's my usual guess. What about you?
It depending on the routing. I always go with number 7, but the way I go with number 7 is I want it to be the last chest in that first group of 4 on the left-hand side. That is just my favorite location for it. Very fast, very easy. But you never know. We could have a number 1 or something.
Right. Yeah, every once in a while, I'll see one where the first chest is the small key and the second chest is in the big key, and that's a really nice way to get through Ganon's Tower.
Mm-hmm. And Pika Pal is going to make quick work of the Swamp Palace here. I mean, I'm sure a lot of chat is still hoping for that big key to be bootlocked, which I think is the worst case scenario here for both runners. Oh, Fant getting dead rocked here. Very trolly.
Yeah, if the programmers of Randomizer ever want to get rid of a enemy completely, my vote's on these dead rocks.
Yeah, they always just get in the way. Pika Pal's heading off to the Argus fight now. And overall, heading into Ganon's Tower at about 1:08, like that is absolutely incredible. Potentially sub 20 here on the time. Sub 120, sorry.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few seeds around that hour 25 to 30 mark, but under 120, that's a pretty rare feat.
Yeah, exactly. So, with Fant heading off into GT, we'll start counting.
Chest 1, a small key. Chest number 2, getting a heart refill. Very nice.
And because getting that small key, heading off onto the right side, avoid that torch at all costs.
And avoiding that tile room at all costs as well. Nobody likes tile rooms.
Exactly. I mean, in this case, I think they would hope it's tile room over the torch. And Pika Pal's finishing up Argus, heading up the mountain themselves right away here. That's 3. And number 4.
Number 4 for the big key. I'm going to check through chat. It looks like the first person to type number 4 is the Firewood King. So the Firewood King, congratulations on guessing number 4 for the Ganon's Tower Big Key game. And we can now absolutely say that Fant is in go mode in Ganon's Tower, and he has just a couple bosses standing in his way, and that'll be the end of this one.
Yeah, very nice. Boots not required. Definitely ease their minds a little bit there. And Fant gonna get an excellent time on this seed. Oh, Fant not bringing a key up the tower. This could be a big time sink here.
Oh my gosh! With how close these runners are, this could be the difference between a win and a loss.
Yeah, on Fant's side, you gotta be hoping that there is a key up there, with already committing to this far up the tower.
I believe there are 3 chests upstairs, so there is certainly a possibility.
Yeah. 3 chests plus the mini Helmasaur key that is up there, that is required to obtain. But you gotta hope that one of those chests has that key.
And Fant going through the gauntlet, making really quick work of those skeletons with the fire rod.
Yeah, exactly. These horse heads here, very nice setup there. And Pikapal's heading off into GT.
Yeah, I did not see what time Fant entered GT. But
Fant entered with a 108, so about 3 minutes separating the runners here. But that could all be made up with a key not being at the top of the tower.
Absolutely. And Pikapal's is going to go to the right side, so he's taking the same route. He's going to find the big key at about the same point that Fant did.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice whiz robe room there. One more ahead of them.
Yeah, this second Wizrobe room, the first time you get this one, it is an amazing feeling. And he did it. Beautifully done.
And Pikapal's also getting a number 4 there. Will continue opening chests. Gonna pick up the key in the next room here to be safe as well. So that could make all the difference if a key is not up the tower.
Yeah, very good routing, very good choice. Pikapal's is going to be able to get up there no matter what. So right now we're getting very close to the point where we're going to be holding our breaths to see if one of those 3 chests has the small key that he's going to need. It's quite a gamble.
This is coming down to the wire. It's very, very crazy. Oh, 2 more chests.
One.
Oh,
And the Bombos medallion, only 1 chest remaining.
No.
Is it going to be a small key? Oh my gosh.
This makes all the difference here. No!
Oh my gosh.
Fant, unfortunately, not getting a key.
Pikapal's just got into the lead and he doesn't even know it. Wow.
Oh my. That 3-minute lead is gone.
Absolutely. He's now, I would say, at least a minute and a half behind. He's going to have to go through the gauntlet all over again.
Exactly. It could all come down to the AGA setup, as well as who can do this Ganon fight better at the end here. Overall, very close race, and both runners doing an excellent job.
Absolutely. You know, all it takes is 1 fall to Ganon, and these roles could be reversed all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Off into the Land Mola's 2 fight for Pikapals.
Looks like he's getting ready to use silver strats.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. Perfect.
very nice Land Mola's fight. And unfortunately, Fant gonna have to do that again. Pikapal's making quick work of both Wizrobe rooms there. And Fant starting his gauntlet.
So with Fant skipping that one small key, are you thinking oversight or a gamble?
Definitely a slip of the mind. You wouldn't gamble for a key being at the top with how much time it takes to ascend. I mean, a lot of runners have done it too, where it's you get that big key and you're like, I just gotta go. But definitely not a gamble on that side. And Pika Pal's heading off into the room before the Troll Dorm 2 fight. He can get a little bit of revenge there for having to kill the Troll Dorm earlier on. Oh, taking a fall there.
Ooh, with how close this race is, yeah, we don't have any room for mistakes for sure.
Exactly. I mean, on both runners, you gotta be thinking that the other opponent is also here due to what the seed was giving them. So any slip-ups could mean everything.
And just a 5-arrow upgrade in the final chest. And Pika Pal's just a couple screens away from Agnum 2.
This room that Pika Pals was just in makes me very sad when you don't have boots. You can get bumped around like quite a lot.
Man, he did that like a pro. Heading into Aga 2. Now we'll see what kind of setups he gets.
Uh-oh, Fant taking a fall on the bridge there. Oh, nice
and a triple! Woohoo! Wow! And the double, I believe. I think just one
might not
more.
have counted, but I'm not sure. The double looked a little close, but it did count. So
yes,
3-2-0-1. Very
wow.
nice fight.
What a performance by Pika Pals. What a performance by both runners.
Yeah, both runners. We're still under that 120 mark here, so very insane.
Yeah, it's pretty rare where there isn't some item that ends up trolling, but this one has just, the seed just said, here you go, have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. And Ganon saying not to stand too close, but that is exactly what we're going to do here.
Pika Pal's heading into stage 2, avoiding those fire bats with well-timed hookshot blasts.
Oh, this is coming down really close on the health there. Probably going to play it a little bit safer.
I believe he still has a fairy, right?
I would assume they still have the fairy.
I know Fant used his.
There it
And
is.
threw a rock. Fant did replenish his bottle with a blue potion.
Yeah. And Fant now going to be heading off into the Aga 2 fight.
And Pika Pal's doing a great job of ending part 2 in phase 3 of Ganon. Excellent shape, 7 hearts. Oh my gosh.
Very, very intense race thus far. Fant going to be just entering Ganon fight when Pika finishes at this rate. There's one hit already. And the torch glitch.
And I'm going to quickly say, these two runners have performed amazingly for us. If you're happy with what you've seen, be sure to give them a follow on Twitch, both of them. And Pika Pals with a double to end the Ganon fight, holding up his sword proudly, and we have a sub 120 win, my friends.
Very, very nice time there for Pika Pals. Coming in with an SRTV time of 1:19:48. Absolutely fantastic seed for both runners. Fant not too far behind, just the Ganon fight there. GG, Pika Pals. And it looks like Pika Pals is already ready to join us for an interview. We shall bring him in here. Pika Pals, hello, welcome. Grats on the win.
Hey, thanks.
It was a very intensely close race to watch. Fant actually in the Ganon fight right now.
Ooh, nice.
And it's actually even closer than that.
Yeah.
Fant chose or may have forgotten to get that small key directly after getting the big key, and he made it all the way up the tower without finding another small key, and that is what gave you the lead.
Dang.
Yeah. So he's entering the last phase again in here, so we'll have him in here as well. But overall, what did you think of this seed? Very fast-paced without the boots.
Yeah, it was just extremely fast. It just, just gave you everything you needed to win.
Mm-hmm. Now, was it going through your mind at all that boots may happen to be required in Ganon's Tower?
Yeah, like when I went up to Ganon's Tower, I was like, if the boots are gonna be upset about that one.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly. Nice run there. And Fant now finishing Ganon with an SRTV time of 1:21:50. So we'll get Fant in here as well. You. Fant, hello, welcome. GG.
Hello. Yeah, GG.
yeah, GG.
So we were just talking about how an absolutely amazingly fast seed this was. Go mode at right around the 40-minute mark. And how about that hype cave, huh?
That was the hypest cave I've ever seen.
On a 1 to 10, what would you rate that?
I'd give it a 9.
9. Me personally, I'm calling that an 11. I'm gonna break the rules. But definitely very nice. Having all the items early on in this seed, as we were saying before you joined here, a 40-minute go mode is absolutely incredible. And both of you pretty much doing the exact same route throughout this seed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was pretty similar the whole way through. So very, very nice on both of you. And pretty much getting those items you need to pretty much have everything fall into place.
Yeah, both of you had an absolutely incredible performance. Right around that 120 mark, you only had 2 minutes separating. Fant, you were actually in the lead going into Ganon's Tower. And unfortunately, what happened with that small key was the one thing that cost you.
Yeah, I realized it about the second room in the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking, if I need to go back, there's probably no way I can win this. I just need to cross my fingers and hope it's in one of the 2 chests or 3 chests at the top, and it wasn't.
After you commit a small amount of time for it, you pretty much just have to hope that it's there, kind of thing.
Yeah, judging by the final delta, I think if I did mirror out from the first gauntlet room, it would have been really close.
It would have been, I would say it'd be around 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
So definitely
not knowing your opponent or where your opponent is a really tough call to make.
Yeah. Overall, do either of you have thoughts on this seed?
Never skip a small key. It may cost you a race.
Very true. Very true.
The funny thing is, I was just talking about it earlier on, earlier today even. Is oh man, these races being decided, this person has to go back to the beginning, get a small key. It's why would anybody do that? Well, when you get really, really excited about, oh my god, the big key is not boots locked.
Yeah,
everything just kind of blanks out, and yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of go. As soon as you get that big key, you're like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Let's finish it up. Any other thoughts there, Pika Pals?
Not really. Just, nice seat overall.
How
Well,
do the two of you like the uncle's items at the start there?
That was pretty nice. I really like the bow start. I think it's one of the easier ones to begin with. It allows you to take out all the guards really fast to farm for that bomb drop.
Yeah, bow is really fun. I'm just sad that it took me like 5 guards to get a single drop. Not even a bomb drop, but just anything.
Yeah, I had to farm for quite a bit too to get the bomb. I think after I
Yeah.
rescued Zelda coming back in, that's when I finally got it.
Both of you getting the bomb drop in the exact same room, mere seconds from each other too. So
That's great.
definitely nice to see, and not having to go back to do escape again. Very nice.
and of course, the bow being one of those items that can tend to be very trolly in the game, getting that one out of the way was really nice. And this is one of the few seeds that I've seen where there really was no troll item at all.
No, I think the funniest part though, like we didn't have any troll items, we did have a couple funny sequences. Is when I went into T-Rock to check the first chest, and I go outside, it's like, oh, there's time for Sword and Fire. I guess we're going back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
was
both of
just
you
saying-
did the same exact thing too.
Really?
Well, when I was going up after getting the mitts, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to check Super Bunny Cave because I don't want to go through Turtle Rock all the way to Laser Bridge just to find out the Fire Barrage is like right on Super Bunny.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then
That's
there
a
it
little
was.
difference there.
Yeah. Yeah, this seed was something else.
Overall, very fantastic times for you both. So Pika Pals going 3-0. Is there anyone you're hoping to avoid in that 3-0 stage?
It's probably good to avoid the Andy and TGH and ACM, LM, those guys.
Exactly. All of them definitely fantastic racers there. And Fant taking the first loss here for the tournament. Lots of opportunity left. Anyone you're hoping to go against or to avoid in the next round?
I haven't really thought about it yet. I need to go see who all the 2-1 people are, but there's going to be a lot of scary people. Like
Oh, yeah.
from here on out, like the 2-1 round, 3-0 round is going to be absolutely horrifying.
Yeah, that's something we were talking about before the race started. Is for everyone who hasn't had a loss yet, for all those matchups, it's someone is taking a loss on that day. It is guaranteed to happen, as well as now 2-1, the exact same scenario. All you can do is continue trying, kind of thing.
And of course, with this being the third week, we have a whole entire selection of players that getting their third loss this week will actually eliminate them from entering the bracket stage.
Yeah, exactly. Those 0-2 matches are very, very scary for the runners. But overall, if you in chat liked what you saw today, definitely hit both of these runners up with a follow. They definitely deserve it. They put on an excellent show for all of us, as well as all of us working behind the scenes as commentators. Our tracker for the Night Hitaka, we're on there as well. And if you like Rando, I'm sure most people watching love Rando. You can hit Speed Gaming 1 through 6 up with a follow, as well as ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. Tons of Randomizer going on right now. 256 matches a week. So very incredible amount of restreams to happen.
And of course, if you've played the game, or even if you haven't ever played the game, if you see this and this is something that looks like, wow, that'd be kind of fun to try, head on over to their website, vt.alttp.run, and you can generate your own seeds and try out the various modes, including things like key sanity, open mode, retro mode. They have just taken this game and torn it to shreds with all the different ways that there are to play it now.
Yeah, exactly. I want to thank both runners again, putting on an excellent show. As for right now, for Rando, there's currently a race starting up on the Speed Gaming channel between Songleaves and Bent Glass Tube. So I hope all of you go and join in on that. It should be a fantastic race as well. So thank you all for joining us here today.
GG Fant, GG Pickapals, and thank you for doing such an excellent job. I would be absolutely horrified to face either of you in any race.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Have a wonderful night.